There are 5 lessons that I want to share with you from the Bible story, David and Goliath. First is that David relied on God. He said, "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of the giant." Verse 6 says, "The Lord who is my shepherd, nothing shall be wanting to me." Verse 7, "As for these, they may boast in their idols, but let all who trust in God be exalted." And he knew that the battles were not fought by muscle or by might, but by the Spirit of the living God. Next, it takes courage and faith to face a giant. This was a giant terrorizing Israel. Verse 5 says, "And the men of Israel were afraid and dismayed, and the Israelites said, 'Are you not afraid that he will come and destroy you?' But David was willing to go into the valley and to meet this giant. Sometimes you have to walk through the valley of the shadow of death to get to your promise. It takes courage and faith to step out and do what needs to be done. Third, it takes strategy to defeat a giant. David wasn't a soldier, he was a shepherd. But he took his skill as a shepherd, and he used his sling and hit the giant right between the eyes. Sometimes we have to take our everyday skills and our everyday tools and use them in a strategic way to defeat the giants that we're facing. 4. It takes humility to defeat a giant. Goliath was arrogant and proud. He mocked the God of Israel. And verse 22, "And Goliath said, 'Come to me, David, and let the field be our battleground.' And he cursed David by his gods. And David said, 'You come to me with a sword and a spear and a shield. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have challenged.' Goliath was full of himself. He was arrogant, but David was humble. He knew that he was nothing. He knew that all the glory had to go to God. And that's why David won the battle. Finally, sometimes it takes the weak to defeat the mighty. Goliath was a giant. He was huge. He was strong. He had armor. He had weapons. Though David was just a young boy, a shepherd boy, he had faith and believed in God. And so, it was the weak, according to the world's standards, that defeated the mighty and the strong. As we close, remember that the God who raised up David to defeat Goliath is the same God that's in our lives today. If we rely and put our trust in him, no matter how big the giant is, no matter how fearful the situation is, we can trust that God will give us the courage, the strength, the wisdom, and the faith to overcome any situation that we're facing. Thank you for joining me for this Bible story. Until next time, be blessed.